Have you ever wondered what it takes to truly satisfy a woman? Welcome to this enlightening journey where we unravel the art of giving ultimate pleasure to a woman. This journey takes us beyond the surface, delving into the deep realms of female anatomy and the art of oral pleasure. It's not just about the act, it's about understanding, appreciating, and exploring. It's about creating an intimate connection that transcends physicality. And the secret lies in truly understanding the nuances of female pleasure. Knowing the female anatomy is the first step to mastering the art of oral pleasure. When it comes to a woman's intimate anatomy, it's not just about the vagina. There are several other key parts that play a significant role in sexual pleasure. Let's delve into these areas, shall we? First off, we have the clitoris. This is a small, sensitive protrusion located at the top of the vulva. It's the powerhouse of female pleasure, as it's packed with thousands of nerve endings. The clitoris extends internally, and when stimulated, can lead to intense orgasms. It's important to approach this area gently, as the sensitivity can vary greatly from woman to woman. Next, we move on to the labia, which are the outer and inner lips that protect the clitoris and the vaginal opening. The labia are also packed with nerve endings and can be incredibly sensitive to touch. Light stroking, kissing, or even gentle blowing can give rise to pleasurable sensations. Then we have the G-spot. This is a bit more elusive. It's located on the front wall of the vagina, about 2 to 3 inches inside. Although it's not as sensitive as the clitoris, the G-spot can produce powerful orgasms when stimulated correctly. It's often described as a spongy, slightly ridged area that swells during arousal. Lastly, let's not forget about the vaginal opening and the inner walls of the vagina. These areas are also sensitive and can contribute to overall pleasure. However, they are not as densely packed with nerve endings as the clitoris or the labia. Remember, every woman is different. What works for one might not work for another. It's essential to communicate openly and honestly about what feels good and what doesn't. Understanding these areas is essential to delivering powerful pleasure. Foreplay isn't just a precursor, it's a part of the main event. Think of foreplay as the overture to a grand symphony. It sets the tone, builds anticipation, and creates a tantalizing crescendo that leads to the main performance. It's not just a mere appetizer, but a substantial course in itself. But why is foreplay so significant? Well, it's the key to unlocking the door to heightened arousal and pleasure. It's about setting the stage for a more intense, satisfying experience. It's the process of warming up the body, stirring the senses, and building a crescendo of desire that can make the finale so much more explosive. Foreplay is also about fostering connection and intimacy. It's a way to express your affection and desire in a way that's not just physical, but emotional too. It's about showing your partner that you're invested in their pleasure, not just your own. Let's delve a bit deeper into how you can incorporate foreplay into the oral pleasure process. Start slow. Let the anticipation build. Tease, explore, engage all the senses. Use your hands, your lips, your breath. Kiss, touch, caress. Make your partner feel desired, cherished, adored. Remember, it's not about rushing to the finish line, but about enjoying the journey. Explore your partner's body with curiosity and reverence. Pay attention to their responses, their breath, their sounds. These are your guides, your roadmaps to their pleasure. Don't limit yourself to just one area. The whole body is a playground of sensations. The nape of the neck, the curve of the hip, the inner thigh. These are all areas that can ignite desire and intensify arousal. And most importantly, communicate. Ask your partner what they like, what they want, what feels good. Because at the end of the day, the most erotic thing you can do is to truly listen, understand, and respond to your partner's needs and desires. Remember, foreplay isn't optional. It's a crucial part of the journey. Now that you understand the why, let's delve into the how. It's time to unwrap the mystery of effective oral pleasure techniques. So let's start with some core methods that you can experiment with. First, we have the flat tongue technique. Imagine your tongue as a soft, warm blanket. Use it to cover as much surface area as possible. This technique is great for initiating things, as it's more about providing broad stimulation than focusing on one specific point. It's a gentle approach that can make your partner feel cherished and adored. Next, we have the pointed tongue technique. Imagine your tongue as a gentle yet precise instrument. This technique involves focusing on specific areas like the clitoris with the tip of your tongue. It's a more focused approach that can provide intense pleasure when used correctly. However, remember to be gentle. Too much pressure can be overwhelming. Then there is the swirl. This technique is all about circular motions. Picture yourself painting a masterpiece with your tongue. Start with wider, slower circles and gradually make them tighter and quicker. The key with the swirl is to mix it up. Vary the pace, pressure, and location to keep things interesting. Remember, every person is unique. What works for one might not work for another. The best approach is to combine different techniques and switch between them. Pay attention to your partner's responses and adapt accordingly. Another crucial point is to take your time. Keep in mind that this is not a race. It's more akin to a slow dance where the journey is as important as the destination. Rushing things can lead to discomfort and might even ruin the mood. Finally, don't forget to communicate. Ask your partner what they like and don't like. Open communication can significantly enhance the experience for both of you. Remember, these techniques are not set in stone. They are merely suggestions to help you navigate the complex world of oral pleasure. Feel free to experiment and find what works best for you and your partner. Experimenting with different techniques can lead to a world of pleasure. Communication is key, and not all of it is verbal. When it comes to reading her responses, there are many signs to look out for. Her body language can tell you volumes about her enjoyment. For instance, if her breathing quickens or she becomes more vocal, it's a good sign that what you're doing is working. Conversely, if she tenses up or goes silent, it may be a sign that she's not enjoying it. Keep an eye out for these cues and adjust your actions accordingly. But remember, body language is not the be-all and end-all. It's just as important to engage in open and honest communication. Ask her if what you're doing feels good. If she's comfortable, encourage her to guide your movements. This not only helps ensure her pleasure, but also fosters greater intimacy. Here it's crucial to stress the importance of consent. Always make sure your partner is comfortable with what you're doing. A simple, "Is this okay?" can go a long way. And of course, if she asks you to stop or change what you're doing, respect her wishes immediately. Consent is not a one-time deal. It's ongoing and can be withdrawn at any time. Let's not forget about the power of positive reinforcement. If she expresses that she enjoys something, make a mental note. Remember it for future encounters. Over time, you'll build a repertoire of techniques that you know she loves. Ultimately, it's about creating a safe and comfortable environment where both of you can explore and enjoy each other's bodies. It's about learning together, growing together, and finding pleasure together. So don't shy away from communication. Embrace it, encourage it, because when it comes to sexual pleasure, silence is not golden. There's a lot to be said for a well-timed question or a whispered instruction. It can mean the difference between an okay experience and an unforgettable one. Listening to her body and her words will guide you to her pleasure. Mastering the art of oral pleasure is about more than just technique. Indeed, it's a symphony composed of understanding, patience, skill, and communication. We embarked on this journey together, exploring the fascinating landscape of female anatomy. We discovered the power of foreplay and how it sets the stage for the main act. We delved into an assortment of techniques, each with its unique rhythm and tempo. Remember, variety is the spice of life. The same holds true for oral pleasure. Change your rhythm, vary your pressure, explore different movements. But remember, it's not a race. Take your time and savor each moment. However, the most important lesson we've learned today is to read her responses. Her body is a canvas of sensations. Listen to her sighs, watch her body language, and pay attention to the subtle cues. They are your guide, leading you towards her pleasure. But above all, remember that communication is key. Encourage her to express her desires, her likes, and her dislikes. It's through this open dialogue that you'll truly unlock the secrets to her pleasure. So, my friends, as we conclude this journey, let's not forget the most important element of all, enjoyment. Pleasure is not a destination, it's a journey filled with exploration, discovery, and delight. Remember, every woman is unique. So keep exploring, keep communicating, and most importantly, enjoy the journey.